What do you believe, Ainojie, Dr. Ainojie, is the role of the government in supporting a new landscape and a paradigm shift for the gas sector, especially in terms of accelerating the transition conversation, the transition goal? Do you believe that the government has a lot more to do than it's currently carrying out? Before you joined us, we spoke about the different programs that the government had undertaken and is still undertaking. We're under the decade of gas. Do you think that there's more to what we're currently executing within the government action plan?
I think the best example for this is Qatar. Uh, yes, they do sit on 10% of the world's reserves from a gas standpoint, but that singular focus to create a nation that was not only self-sufficient when it came to energy, but had a long view on what it saw as its value proposition to the world. The first step is the synergy with all of these programs we're talking about. Decade of gas, 7 critical gas projects, whatever we see as a renewable future or a clean energy future. The first step is harmonizing all of those policies. And I think the government has started to do that. We see some of those policy institutions talking to each other. So I think the first step is getting that right, getting a blueprint for where we want to go. We've always said we're a gas province. So indeed, beyond just the clean energy mandates, we have a gas mandate. This is what we have. They say use what you have to create what you want. So for me, that's the first step. The second step is to find the partners that will get you there. The partners wouldn't come if we cannot put oil in a pipeline from point A to point B. So when you say, is the government doing enough, I think everyone in this room will say the government can do more. We do need a secure environment to operate, period. There's no other way to shape or talk about that component. If we don't have a secure environment to operate, then all our investment effectively just wilts away. If we did take care of security, then we move on to the next phase for me, which is getting those partners on board. And I'm talking whether they're banks, financial institutions, the IOCs have supported the Qatar story significantly, and they have been here in Nigeria supporting us. But I do believe that it does need to be a more conducive environment. The final thing is policy. My last conference, I think it was on this stage, I say if we continue twiddling our thumbs, the PIA will become obsolete before our very eyes. Yes, we need a competitive landscape, but we need to understand that we must attract people into our investment environment. And that will mean very quickly evolving some of the components of the PIA to ensure that when these projects come up in their portfolio rationalization, they are thinking, Nigeria is now secure. The returns from Nigeria on the medium term make sense. Instead of Guyana or anywhere else, let's take our money into Nigeria. That's what we want. And this has to be a singular focus. The moment we're able to get the train out of the station, the rest of it, I believe, private sector can do. Not just attract investment. I think one of the big points that was made earlier on is those investments that have been committed to, we must show and demonstrate that we can take them to execution, commissioning, and value creation for everybody. I say that the shareholders of the gas reserves of this country are sitting before us, every single citizen in this country. We must hold our governments, ourselves, private investors or individuals and other stakeholders, we must hold us to task to what we have to do. For me, those are the three key things. I'll just end on this note. Clinical psychologists for a while have established, as far back as the 50s, that Memory is not for recalling the past. It's from extracting from the past the lessons to structure the future. Fundamentally, this is what we must do. There's nothing new that we're trying to do. Nothing.